Hi, this is Tom Kane, the voice of Jedi Master Yoda. And this is Inside the Force. Listen, you will. Foreseen it I have, yes.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Welcome, everyone, inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here. With me, as always, Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Got a lot to get to. Lots of Rebels to talk about. Some great announcements in the Star Wars medium with Episode 8. Mm-hmm. A little bit of some Rogue One stuff.
And some other
books, comics, little stuff. Yeah,
a lot of little stuff.
All kinds of little stuff to get to. But we thank you guys for listening and joining in. Of course, we're at InsideTheForce.com. Go there and listen to us any way you can. iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio. Of course, on the website, all the episodes right there anyway. So we will get right into any kind of movie news we got. What we got, Case?
Well, since episode 7's done, we don't really talk about that anymore, honestly. But move on to episode 8. Since that is, although we are getting a Star Wars movie this year, it seems like everybody's focus is still on the main saga. No one's really talking about Rogue One too much. But episode 8 has...
Which is a shame.
It's a shame. It's a crying shame. I don't understand.
But I do think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we haven't seen anything.
Right.
We haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I actually had someone surprisingly ask me, when do I think we'll get a Rogue One trailer? And it just surprised me that they were aware of the fact that we are getting Rogue One as a movie. But in terms of a trailer, I don't even know. I'm guessing Celebration.
No, it's
Are they already
Civil War, I think, is when they said it's going to be. Yeah, I think it's going to be on Civil War. The rumor
Yeah.
is it's going to be on Civil War.
Right.
Which, that makes sense.
Correct.
It's Disney.
Yeah. Disney.
And then they're obviously going to probably have something at Celebration, which is July.
Yeah.
But
episode 8 has officially started their production, their shooting, principal photography. They, I don't even know if it was at Michael Skellig, that island, or not, but they, Star Wars released a little 30-some-odd second teaser, basically, for episode 8, in a way, a production teaser.
Yes.
It was just, it was like the same scene at the end of Force Awakens when Rey was giving Luke the lightsaber, but it was just looked different. I don't know if it was just reshot or maybe they just colored it differently. I don't know, but because it looked a little different. But you did get one shot of the island that was like a nice move-in shot going across the water towards the island, and then you had a different shot of Luke Skywalker's profile, but looking the same way as he did in Force Awakens. And then you had Rian Johnson say cut and some production stuff, and they say, well, this is the first, saying like, this is episode 8, everybody. Welcome to episode 8. And they all applauded and cheered and all that stuff. And then, boom, you saw just 8 in Roman numerals in space. Really awesome. Mark Hamill even tweeted out funny little tweets. You read this where he says, he's saying the episode 8 starts production. Then he goes in and says, like, I still have no dialogue, or hashtag Rian Johnson talks more than I do. Hashtag, like, no lines or something like that. Because he still didn't say anything, even in this little trailer. But
I think that what we saw in episode 7 was shot by Rian Johnson.
Probably, yeah.
I think what we saw there was what they shot for episode 7. Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily. I mean,
episode 8.
I think it's going to be an 8 too, but I think they put it in 7 at the end there, because I don't think JJ went out there just for that one scene, and then because we didn't get word of that. There was rumors about that shoot happened much later after production of episode 7 ended. They flew out there, and Rey must be training under Luke, and people were like, some people were mentioning how that kind of spoiled 7 a little bit, because Rey's the one that is training now. So she's obviously becoming the Jedi or whatever. So,
but also we don't know if Episode 8 how much time it takes place after 7.
Right?
Is it going to pick it right after on the island, or is it many months later? Because that's the same scene from Episode 7 that we saw in this little commercial. But who knows?
Yeah, that's why I think it's a little misleading.
Yeah,
because I think they're saying they're there shooting Episode 8, but what they showed us was what was already shot for Episode 7.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Boyega even posted on his Instagram him working out, getting his little nice workout bod.
Yeah.
Apparently he's got a much more physical role in this film. Very exciting. Very, very cool. But that's pretty much all for 8.
What
else?
Casting.
Oh yeah, because when they released it, that's right. It flew right on the radar. There.
It did.
It just sneaked in there. When they released the promo, this old teaser, they also announced that Laura Dern has been cast.
Correct.
Well, this other actress as well, who's coming up and coming. But Laura Dern, big actress, cast in Episode 8, and I don't think they say what role she was in. Right?
They haven't, and there's all kinds of rumors floating around, like who is she playing?
Yeah. Mon Mothma, maybe.
No, I don't think Mon Mothma. Well,
you can say the rumor. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean the rumors are Rey's mother. Somehow. Now, whether or not. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. Because when you see the picture of her, there's a picture of her somewhere where they have the casting. Anyway, they officially announced Academy Award winner Benicio del Toro.
Right.
Academy Award nominee Laura Dern, and newcomer Kelly Marie Tran is who they officially announced, along with the usual suspects of Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Oscar Ridley, Lupita Nyong'o, Domhnall Gleeson, Anthony Daniels, Gwendolyn Christie, and Andy Serkis. So obviously the returning bunch is all back instead of Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
But obviously what's weird too is you don't see Peter Mayhew's name on there.
Yeah.
So possibly the person that split time with Chewbacca with him, I think. I don't know who that was. But anyway, so Laura Dern, there's all kinds of videos on YouTube already about who she's playing, Is it Mara Jade?
Yeah, and for some reason I was thinking of Rogue One. That's why I said Mon Mothma, because I was thinking of Rogue One. But
well, that's true. Mon Mothma should show up in Rogue One.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what I was totally thinking.
Probably played by the person that played her in Episode 3. Possibly, I would say.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Why not? I mean, I would assume.
Yeah. But anyways,
you'd go after that. But so rumors abound. I mean, when I first saw her picture, they had a picture of Laura Dern in Episode 8 next to her, and I looked at her and I was like, wow. Like, her and Luke would create a girl that looks like Daisy Ridley. If you see her face, she resembles Daisy Ridley a lot. And so here's the thoughts that went to my head first was because we see the tombstone.
Right.
He's standing next to a tombstone, so I think I right away I thought of one of two things. Right away I thought, okay, it's Luke's wife, Rey's mother. So bottom line, I think that's who it is.
Yeah.
But how I think she's going to be played, in the movie, one or two things, because I thought, okay, she's either had died, and we're only going to see her in flashbacks, because I think they've kind of, with that Force visions, I think they've kind of established that we could see, even though we never seen it before,
right,
in movies where the characters have seen, because even like in Empire when Yoda's telling Luke, in the future things you will see, and he closes his eyes and we never saw what he sees, right. But I think they're going to start taking liberties with that because of what we saw, what Daisy saw, right?
Like visions of the past, basically.
Visions of the past, or even the future, because he saw the future, basically, that they're in pain, right?
Yeah.
So Rey saw the past, and it wasn't like she touched it and freaked out and they didn't cut to it like they would have in the original trilogy, right? So I think they're starting to take liberties of, okay, we can actually show what these people are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it could be that where we see her in some kind of forced visions, or maybe Luke's telling Rey about her, and you see things, or Luke didn't know that she had died. Luke assumed she had died.
The wife?
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's not actually a body there. He just represented a tombstone, thinking that she was killed or something like that. And maybe they find out in the movie that she's still alive. Maybe she's being held by Snoke.
Yeah.
So I started thinking about that. But then later on, the third thought popped in my head, which almost seems like the one I might go with.
Okay.
That she is Mara Jade.
Yeah.
Right? She is. And that she's a Force ghost.
Yeah, that's my alternate, my plan B, because I agree, either it's a vision of the past or a Force ghost. Because I feel like if she's dead, then he definitely burned her body.
Yeah,
in that scene, along with the other Jedi. Probably.
Well, you don't have, and then what we've discovered with Obi-Wan and Yoda, you don't have to burn your body actually to.
No, you don't have to. But
to be a Force ghost.
Just his
maybe it's Luke's thing.
It's his tradition.
Yeah,
I guess. Burning bodies of Jedi. I guess that's what he learned, or whatever. But
yeah, the tombstone could just be a representation.
Yeah,
right.
And that's what people were saying. Like if that is a tombstone, then that could be a memorial for Han Solo. That's what people are thinking, because
I don't buy that.
I don't buy that either.
Yeah.
People are just they don't want to cope with the fact that it could be Mara Jade for some reason. But
or what about this though?
Yeah,
actually, this just literally popped in my head just now. Breaking news.
This just in.
Okay, so what if Mara Jade? What if she is alive? What if she's still on? What if she's on the island? We just don't see her yet.
Yeah.
What if the tombstone is actually a representation for Rey?
Yeah,
thinking that he might think that she's dead.
That's one thing. That's one theory I've talked about with Corey, actually, my brother Corey, about how he kind of gets behind this theory that he has his own theory about Kylo Ren and his whole thing. But the idea was that Kylo was supposed to kill Rey and couldn't do it, so he sent her to Jakku. But Luke thinks that she is dead.
I have heard that
That's
rumor.
one of the things going around. Yeah, so I mean that sounds cool. But I can see that maybe that would be an option where Luke thinks that Rey is dead until he sees her on the island.
That's actually,
and he just feels the connection there.
That's actually a very good theory.
Yeah,
I'd heard that, never really gave much thought to it. But that would then lend some credibility to the script, that the part of the script that didn't make it into the, or maybe it's a part of the novel that didn't make it into the movie, where when Rey, Force
Kylo.
summons the lightsaber, he turns to her and says, "It is you."
So it is you or whatever. Yeah.
So there's recognition there that he knows who she is then.
Yeah, he's been this whole time thinking I wonder.
So maybe it is. So maybe it's like I want to save my little cousin.
Yeah.
From this. Because you always know in episode 7 that he's had this struggle of having a light side that he's trying to get rid of. Yeah. That's actually I can go with that. That's actually pretty good. So the theory that he drops her off and then either after or before he decides to wipe out the Jedi.
Yeah. That'd be interesting, man. I mean,
but see, there's always that question right now. The main question is if she's 5 or 6, right? What she looks like, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, she would know the name of her father, right? I mean, she would know that Luke is Luke. Maybe not Skywalker necessarily, but Luke at least. Or
I mean, unless Kylo did something to her memories, or
Yeah, or unless
something like that.
Yeah, unless she wasn't with him at all that much. When
maybe
I don't. Maybe she wasn't with her father.
Doesn't remember. I don't know. Because
that was my theory. Well, that was my theory a while ago. Was that Luke didn't even know he had a daughter.
Right.
Like he doesn't know. Mm-hmm. Somehow, maybe at the time, I don't even know. Maybe at the time things were going bad. He sent Mara into hiding, and she was pregnant, and
maybe
I don't know. There's so many possibilities, but I think the fact that the Laura Dern is definitely, I got to go with it. I think that she's the mother.
It seems very plausible. Yeah.
And I might be leaning more towards the Force Ghost side.
Maybe.
Because if it's Mara Jade, she's definitely Force sensitive and was probably part of the Jedi Order.
She'd be able to do it.
Yeah. So, so more on that. I think it's going to be, I think she's going to be one of them. I don't know if there's going to be she's going to be one of those characters where they tried to hide who she is, kind of like.
They can definitely do it. We know they can do it because of Lore Santeca. We know they can hide who they are.
Yeah, and I feel like Lupita, they kind of hid Maz's character forever.
Yeah,
you saw who she saw her, but you didn't know who she was or what she did.
Yeah.
I think there's ways they're gonna probably hint at her being somebody, but not really reveal it. Okay, so that's I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. And then newcomer Kelly Marie Tran, congratulations, landing that role.
Yeah.
And then the whole Benicio del Toro thing is
he's still
I've read rumors again of what he's playing. He's obviously playing a villain.
Yeah.
But if he's Sith or if he's just Empire, or First Order or whatever, I don't know. But interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rogue One.
I don't know if there's much.
Not much, really. Actually, we are. What we are?
I think it's 305 days.
Yeah,
that's what I saw today on the app. So 300. Yeah. Again, I'm. By this time last year, we had already had a teaser, right, for episode 7. We had the teaser that came out Thanksgiving of 2014,
right,
and. We were a year ago. We were about a month and a half away from leaving for Celebration, which I think it was announced that something was going to play there, right? So we knew a trailer was coming then. So I just feel like until we see something, I just don't see you just don't hear any buzz about it yet.
Nothing.
Don't hear anything. It's flying so far under the radar right now. Mm-hmm. And I think. I'm pumped for it, man. I'm somewhat blinded right now because Batman Superman's coming out next month.
Yeah,
but I can't wait to see it's just a Star Wars movie that's not the normal Star Wars stuff,
right? It's definitely. We're rides on it.
We're watching Rebels. We watched Clone Wars, and but this is different, man. This is.
That's a movie, yeah. We're gonna,
and you got a great. I looked at it again. You got a great cast for this thing. These are good actors.
Crew got awesome director.
Yeah, it's Gareth Edwards. Yeah, Didn't Kasdan get his hand on this or no? Did he write this?
No, he's doing the Han Solo.
Who wrote this? Gareth?
No. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Cause I actually get them confused. It's two different guys. I can't remember if Gareth is the one who's writing it or directing it. Gareth is directing it. Chris Weitz is the main guy's screenplay. Gary Whitta did the story. Chris Weitz did the screenplay. So Gary Whitta, he's the main guy. And because he did the Book of Eli. He's done some other good stuff.
Love that movie.
Yeah,
Book of Eli was awesome.
He's done some other things, but Book of Eli was pretty great.
And they got a lot of the production staff and coordinators that did the like storming the beach on Saving Private Ryan and
Yes.
stuff like that. So I mean, this is going to be just just to see a military movie set in Rogue One, it's just set in Star Wars is just it's a great idea.
Right.
But I mean, I hope we're going to see. I think we're going to see something in May with and I think it's early May that
like
Civil War comes out
or whatever. Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a trailer there. I just hope I hope it's not a teaser. I hope it's an actual trailer.
I want to see people. I want to see talking. Yeah.
I want to see a trailer, a 2.5 minute trailer.
Yeah.
And if it's the only thing we get, that's fine.
That's true.
But just show me some good stuff and get me stoked for this movie because, with Celebration, we're not going to be at Celebration. That's in Europe this year. So they'll probably get another probably trailer or teaser, which they'll probably release. But but up until then, there's nothing from July to December, except maybe like in Disney or something like that. They have their D23 or something like that. Is usually
theirs,
sometime in late fall, I think.
Comic-Con maybe. They don't do it.
That's about the same time as Celebration, I think.
Oh yeah,
this
July.
year.
Yeah.
So they probably won't do much at Comic-Con. Okay, so moving on to Rebels, we've got several episodes to talk about. We haven't been able. We're on here the past couple weeks. So the first episode, which was interesting, was the Lasat, Legends of the Lasat, and we kind of find out Zeb is actually not alone, which I never really knew that for a while there that he thought he was the only one left. Yeah,
I knew he was like an endangered kind of species.
Yeah, I knew they had a big war or something like that, and because that thing with Callus, how Callus had one of the weapons, and they were talking about that. I think that might have been like the first or second episode. So this was a little weird that he sees a couple of it's totally different.
I loved it though. Like there's kind of a spiritual episode in a way, and the music the music was weird. It was like a Requiem for a Dream, just like kind of just strange, bizarre music. But you basically, to me at least, you find out that the Lasats are force sensitive.
Well,
it's in a way like in their version,
it's a different version of how they sense the force.
It's like religion, like they have a different name for God, a different name for force.
That's right.
In a way, so this is their connection to the thing their way. Yeah, you can call it that. It's fine. Like we call it the force, they call it the way. So, but it was cool. They just like Zeb's weapon kind of channeled this thing, and they used the force essentially to guide them to the origin of Lasat to work their way through this. What was it, like a black hole? Right?
Well, it was a
wormhole thing, or
it was the edge of the known regions,
right?
And it went into what they call wild space, right? So, it was a black hole that they didn't know what.
That was cool too, because like the gravity, like it was like sucking in everything else, and the lasers were being sucked into it as they were trying to shoot them down, and they just navigated right through it. That was such a cool moment.
That scene when he's navigating, and then Ezra and Kanan put their hands on him.
Oh
that was awesome.
Yeah,
like that was awesome.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I was like, you just felt like, wow, you just felt the power. And the force and them assisting and getting him there. Oh, that
they just knew like this is something that we can help with. Like, this is pretty incredible. And they like the whole prophecy that they talked about there, the warrior, the child, and like the idiot or something like that, the imbecile, whatever they call them. But it was pretty cool. I really, really enjoyed that.
I did enjoy that.
Surprisingly enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be like a kind of a throwaway backstory episode, but like this was pretty incredible.
Right. Which we've been getting, we got kind of right before that, we got kind of Sabine's kind of reveal.
That was good too.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
And then, we did earlier get kind of Ezra's conclusion with his parents, and stuff like that. So there's been some wrap up with these characters in their past. So, Zeb being able to find a planet for his people and really good. So then we transitioned into last week's episode, which is called The Call. And it was pretty good, but it was unbelievably interesting at the end.
Yeah. These creatures.
These creatures.
Like, I forgot what they're called. Paragorms or something like that.
They were huge.
Peregrines. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was the rebels landing on this.
It's the mining.
It's a mine colony, right?
Yeah, that Lando references.
That's right.
Empire. Yeah. Really cool.
It was the mining Badagas mine, and it's the mining colony. I think is
like
what.
Yeah.
The mining guild or something like that. But that's them. The same crew, and they have this gas that they're mining, which I think is what Bespin is actually technically made of. A lot of that gas. Yeah, that's what that gas is on Bespin. So they they land on this station to take it over.
Yeah, they need
and
fuel.
Help. To use it as fuel, correct? Yeah. But these creatures do the same thing. Yeah. At first you're thinking they're
like eating
it, I guess, but they're using it as fuel for themselves.
Basically, yeah.
Which is crazy because they have internal hyperspace. They can travel through hyperspace.
Which I should have made that connection because
I did right away.
You saw the eyes.
Right away. Yes,
that's what I was like. That kind of looks like hyperspace, and then his eyes. That's cool. I just thought it was like a cool little visual thing. I didn't know that actually meant that they could do hyperspace. They could travel through hyperspace.
Well, and then when you listen to Rebels Recon, did you watch it for that episode?
That one, I can't remember.
There's that Filoni kind of gives an explanation. He's like, we kind of wanted to throw in there that the possibility, not necessarily the exact, but the possibility that the idea of traveling through hyperspace didn't come from man or machine. It came from this animal. Because they were like, wait, if this thing can travel somehow like this, then we can figure out how to harness that. So that's a very clever idea. Yeah, very interesting.
That's pretty cool.
That they can do that.
They just suddenly see this creature like zoom off into space, like holy crap! How? Where'd
he go? Yeah,
what is this? What just happened?
And that's the thing too, is like when that thing's traveling, it's like does it have like an internal nav computer?
Yeah.
Because how does it know that?
It probably doesn't have to.
How does it know not to bounce off a star or
fly
bust through a supernova?
Find
right,
your way through it. Yeah, and your trip pretty quick.
Yeah, exactly. Because when they took off, I'm like, wait a minute, how do they know there's not a planet like they're running right into?
The no coordinates, maybe. I don't know, man. Those creatures that's pretty insane. Either they can just know, they just have that like that sense, that sixth sense about them, or they don't need it, and they're so attuned to hyperspace that they can travel around it and through it or whatever, or
I guess. Okay. Yeah, I guess.
And if Han Solo can land on a planet through hyperspace, those creatures, I think.
That's true. That's true. And then we get to this week's episode, obviously, which is called Homecoming. Again, more backstory. We kind of get the reunion of Hera with her father, Sham, and we know Sham because he was
Cham. I think it's Cham.
Cham.
Yeah.
Cham. Cham. Right. Cham.
Right.
So we get Cham, who has been a part of the Star Wars universe.
Right.
In the Clone Wars. And I actually watched that episode again maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I'm kind of going back and trying to watch some more Clone Wars again. And I watched that episode, and that episode was great. And it was season 1. And I don't know if you remember it.
I remember the character. I can't remember specifics what happened.
It was literally a one-off episode, the Battle of Ryloth, pretty much. There was I can't remember. There was a Master Jedi on there. That was a man. I'm just drawing a blank about his species too. But anyway, But it was very sad because he sacrificed that Jedi sacrificed himself to make sure that there was enough time for this because they're trying to give supplies to Ryloth.
Right.
And Cham was the kind of the leader, the military leader of the Twi'leks. I say Twi'leks, they say Twi'leks.
Yeah.
But they it was just you see his wife, Hera's mother, but you don't see Hera at all. And I actually was trying to look for her, but you don't actually see her in the episode. But obviously, maybe she might not have even been born at that point. I think she had to have been.
Yeah, she would.
She would have had to have been born by then. But yeah, it was a good episode.
I liked it. Yeah. Again, there's a cool little moment with Kanan and Ezra when they're like storming the ship and they're kind of like throwing each other through the corridor. The stormtroopers are closing all the blast doors and they're like picking each other up, throwing each other through the doors and like trying to just like tag team, like slingshotting each other through this hallway. I mean, this is cool. Like Kanan's really, or Ezra is really coming into his own with his powers and his abilities. Like with the amount of time he's had just to train, like he's pretty powerful to pick up all these skills.
He is.
He has a great natural ability, like in the Force, and it's pretty exciting seeing. Just like with Ahsoka, like it's exciting that they're taking this character and they're making a brand new character like Ezra, someone who's as amazing and as popular and cool as the original characters. And this episode, adds to that. It was really pretty awesome. Pretty
it is so strange though that he still dresses like a kid. I mean, he's not like changing his outfit for Jedi purposes or anything like that.
There's a moment where Kanan, because he's meeting Hera's father, so like this, father of his, I guess his wife. Are they even married?
I don't think that. But I don't know if there's. I guess. There's marriage because Anakin and there's marriage.
But
you just don't hear about it much.
Right. There's a part where Kanan's like fixing himself, adjusting his shirt, whatever, and he asks Ezra, "How do I look?" And Ezra says, "Like you always do." It's like, yeah, because he looks
because he wears the same clothes,
dresses the same every single day.
Right.
He has a closet of the same shirts. Just pulls it out. Like,
yeah, I mean, he still has the same marked up shoulder pad.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, change clothes. We had mentioned that in previous episodes about how I like how Hera's hair at least changed this season.
Yeah, Hera, Sabine, they kind of.
Or I'm sorry, not Hera. Yeah, Sabine.
She has her hair.
Changed her hair, and I think her clothes actually changed a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she has a little bit different armor.
But with cartoons, it's just you can't really change your shirts.
Well, because you already built the model.
Yeah.
You just kind of redo the model every time.
And we found out too that's like actually costs more money to produce different materials in animated shows.
Yes.
Like it's cheaper to do the same cloth over and over again, and like it's crazy to think
redo that. Yeah.
It actually costs more money to build like more accessories for a person, animate that than just simple clothes. Which it makes sense, but I just never thought about that.
Totally.
Can't afford nice clothes, different clothes for every single episode.
But yeah, very good episodes. Not exactly sure. We finished watching it on your iPad, so we didn't see if there was a preview. I'm assuming there's a preview for next week.
Yeah, they usually play it on there. I just kind of stopped it before.
Next week's episode. So we'll keep you going on that. A little behind on comics, but I plan on trying to catch up this week. Download. I'm going to get today. I think Star Wars number 16. I think he dropped today. I'll find that out. Make sure you guys know about that, where we are on comics. But a couple of other little news pieces I want to talk about, which is weird. It falls under, of course, the Lego stuff. That's the Lego Star Wars series that's been out now. Just recently, what wrapped, I think maybe a month or two ago, was the Droid series, which I haven't actually watched yet. I want to go back. I keep forgetting about it. I have all 5 episodes on my DVR. I am going to watch those. I've watched all of the Yoda Chronicles. But there's 2 pieces of news from the Lego world. The first came out the end of last week, and it's an article that they put out called that StarWars.com put out. Lego Star Wars: The Freemaker series. Now, the Freemaker series, which is coming to Disney XD this summer, is an all-new animated television series scheduled to debut on Disney XD. The fun-filled adventure comedy series will introduce all new heroes and villains in exciting adventures with many familiar Star Wars characters. So basically the synopsis is this, told in the whimsically charged style that audiences have come to expect from Lego Star Wars Entertainment. The series stars the Freemakers, a family of scavengers who build and sell starships from the scored debris of space battles strewn throughout the galaxy. When their youngest discovers a natural connection with the Force through an ancient artifact, the Kyber Saber, his world is turned upside down, and he and his family are thrown into an epic struggle against the Empire to restore peace and freedom to the galaxy. Throughout their adventures, the Freemakers explore new worlds, meet new and familiar characters, and learn the true value of what it means to be a family. And if you see the picture they released, it looks like there's 3 of them. One is holding a lightsaber, and the other one's holding a wrench. But there's, in the background, you see Vader and the Emperor Palpatine. So,
yeah.
And it says that it takes place between episode 5 and 6, I believe. So
I guess a Kyber Saber is basically a lightsaber.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's made with a Kyber crystal.
I don't know where I think I read that somewhere that it's that's when it takes place, between 5 and 6. So makes sense. Obviously, Vader and Emperor still around, and then you have news on the other. You were wanting to talk about the other Lego thing, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a short series, like a short film series in a way. But they Lego is also making little short films based on the Force Awakens characters. I guess prequels in a way, where they released the first one. You can go watch it on Star Wars website. That's I cannot remember. I think The Rise of the Resistance. Well, no, The Resistance Rises. That's what it's called.
Resistance Rises.
It's like 6 minutes and some seconds, little short film. Basically, it's about Poe Dameron and C-3PO rescuing Admiral Akbar, I don't know if he's Admiral necessarily, but just Akbar.
Yes, he's Admiral.
Still Admiral. And he's been captured by the First Order by Phasma, and Poe Dameron and C-3PO are going to rescue him. And they do. It's a short little thing. It's funny. It's good. I love it. It's hilarious. You have Kylo Ren makes appearance as well, and I'm pretty sure that Gwendolyn Christie and Adam Driver are the voices of the Lego characters.
I know Kylo sounded exactly.
Yeah, Gwendolyn Christie sounded pretty similar.
Yes, close.
That's not Isaacs. Is not Poe Dameron.
No,
that wasn't him.
But it is Anthony Daniels, of course.
Yeah, of course. And that's so funny because they make such a point about 3PO's red arm and that. So I thought that was hilarious, just because he's always trying to draw attention. Hey,
and
look,
the explanation for that is not coming yet till March.
Okay,
the comic of him is March. So there's going to be a one shot of how he got the red arm.
I just love they kept like, my arm. It's such a tragic thing that happened. I hate it. It's so stupid. And, he's like trying to get someone to talk about it, but no one wants to talk about it. And then, Kylo Ren's funny too. He mentions how talks to Captain Phasma about it, but and we talked about before the show the canonicity of these Lego shows, and although they're hilarious and funny, and they kind of are satire stars in a way, and in some ways even or meta, they break the fourth wall in a way. They're still canon. Pretty much, they're still canon.
They're still canon. There's a line in an article, which we'll get to next, but there's a line in an article that's written by Jason Fry,
right?
Who's a novelist. But he talks about how he talks about how you have to go through a story group and you have to kind of feed your ideas to Pablo and the story group, and then they have to work their way up to the higher ups and everything and make sure everything is passed. But either way, he in this article he wrote how connection. This is quoting him: connections between Star Wars stories are fun and can include everything from character or creature cameos to retellings of the same events. So, and then I had read, I can't remember where I saw that, but I read also that that pretty much anything that has a narrative that Star Wars puts out, it's canon.
Yeah. Unless it says Legends, right? because like books and stuff like that.
Yes. Unless it says Legends.
I mean, they would put a Legends banner on a video. I mean, why not?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah. Totally.
It's Lego.
Yeah, I think they're comedic little pieces that and if you really do watch them, they don't really contradict anything.
No,
it's just an extra story. It's almost like this Resistance stuff is stuff that happens before Episode 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's no books or comics or anything around that time yet. So, but they're good. I mean, they're just good little series. They're good little series. Now, the one thing, so leading into that is this article that StarWars.com posted also about the connection between Rebels and Episode 7.
Right.
And what do you know of that connection?
Well, Jason Fry, he wrote this trilogy of I guess they're junior novels, the Servants of the Empire trilogy, and it focuses on Zare Leonis from the Rebels show,
right?
The young cadet whose sister was kidnapped by the Empire, right?
That's right. That's right.
About his journey into basically rescuing his sister and kind of fighting the Empire, all that stuff. It takes place a lot on Lothal, a lot with the Empire. You even see you have some of the Ghost crew help out in some parts of the story. But I think it might be the third book. I'm not sure. I think it's the third book,
is. Yeah.
Where Zare and his sister, they kind of find themselves on this isolated academy. It's an Imperial Academy in Lothal, I guess. Or I don't know sure where it is, but there's an Imperial Academy that's kind of like
it's on a planet called Arcanus.
Arcanus, okay. So on this academy in Arcanus, they're kind of doing some innovative things, the Empire, and how they train stormtroopers. And basically what they find out is that on this academy, they are taking infants, basically, babies, and training them to become stormtroopers as a baby and putting them through the...
And I don't think it's actually just stormtroopers. I think it's officers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And everybody. They're brainwashing
the entire Imperial Academy.
Because I think it mentions how... So Hux's father...
Yes.
Was the one behind all this, right?
Commandant Hux, I think is what
Commandant Hux.
Calling him, I think.
And because he was around and witnessed the time of the Jedis that would grab kids at birth and clones,
right,
being taught since birth or whatever since cloning. So that's where this kind of this idea came up. Was he thought, well, we need to to get obedient Imperial or whatever First Order troopers. I guess at the time it was Imperial, but to get to get dedicated officers and soldiers,
right,
we've got to take them at birth, and that explains that's what Finn was saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, you basically get the origin of. Well, not the origin necessarily, but just the seeds of what the First Order does.
Yeah.
When they talk about that in the First Order, how they're raised from birth. This is that. And, we always talk about how there's open where it's open to speculate that Hux's father might have been Grand Moff Tarkin because the timing could have been right. But no, his father was just another Imperial officer, commander, commandant, and Brindle Hux is his name. Brindle Hux, commandant for the Imperial Academy on Arcanus. And so kind of those ideals of the First Order, started off in this little academy on Arcanus, and that was shown in this junior novel. So there's a connection there from Rebels to Force Awakens.
And obviously, I think they started this with the intent of just improving the stormtrooper core for the Empire. Mm-hmm. But once the Empire got destroyed or dissolved at the end of Episode 6, then they still had this facilities to keep creating First Order then stormtroopers or whatever. So
It's cool. I mean,
it's very cool.
The connection there, I like that, and it works. It's not like a random connection, for the sake of being random, which I know Jason Fry talked about. How he said he wanted to kind of throw in these other things, but then realized that it would be too
totally
it'd just be fake. But it was funny because he said he just kind of blurted out this idea to Hidalgo and the story group guys.
Yeah,
not expecting them to be like, yeah, sure. But then Hidalgo was like, yeah, actually, that could work.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So I guess they didn't think of an origin necessarily for Hux, his father. I guess they knew he was an Imperial officer, I think, but then Jason Fry is the one who actually created that backstory.
And there's no telling, he could have created Hux's grandfather too. I mean, technically, so could have been up to him. This whole stuff, yeah. All right. Now, the only thing I do want to mention too is I wanted to mention this the last episode, but I want to kind of give a quick shout out actually to. Yeah, I don't think you're getting these because they're coming to our Inside the Force email, which I get. Mm-hmm. But we're getting emails from from someone, and I don't even know the email. Actually, do I see the? Oh yeah, okay. So it's an email from. I won't say the email out loud just in case, but we're getting emails from somebody that's listening. I'm sure they're listening but just in the past few weeks, and keep them coming. I love it. It's basically just random articles about Star Wars. Now, some of them have to be about, most of them have to be about rumors but I'm getting, because I don't really, if you've listened to the show long enough, you would know that even Casey, I think Casey more so than me, I really only kind of look up StarWars.com for news. I don't. If it's not on there, I don't really, but I usually go to Comic Book Movie a lot, and sometimes I'll catch something in there. But there's so many other sites out there that are putting out so many more rumors and stuff that I just don't look for that. It's strange because I really more or less just kind of want to report what really is true, and we talk about really what Star Wars.com is really talking about. But anyway, so this person is sending us these emails about random stuff. One was just an article about somebody saying, should Ewan McGregor return as as an Obi-Wan Force Ghost? There's an episode 8 rumor there. And that's the first email I got from them was is this the plot for episode 8, which we kind of talked about. But the latest one was an article done by, I think, was done by IGN. You know IGN?
Yeah.
And it was why it was titled "Why Rogue One is Crucial to Star Wars Battlefront."
Okay.
And it basically was talking about how there's a lot of gamers that are frustrated with DICE because, which can't be frustrated with DICE because they can only release what Star Wars lets them release, right? But some of the new downloadable content is just not really that exciting. Right? It doesn't really add to the game. But this article was pretty good because it talks about if Battlefront's considered canon, then they're introducing some weaponry that we don't see in the original trilogy, like the jump packs, or the homing shot or something like that. You know what I mean? Now, it's not to say that they don't have it.
Right.
We just don't see it. So this article was basically saying how there's supposed to be a new big update to the game in September, I think, or October. Yeah. And they're anticipating that it's connected to Rogue One.
That would be really cool. Yeah.
And there's and because I know one of them is one part of it is a Death Star background. Oh, wow. You're fighting above the Death Star kind of thing, or maybe you get in a trench or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming it's just the aerial battle, going on above the Death Star. which is crazy because I wonder if there's like towers shooting at you too, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think it was just talking about how, you know, Star Wars, if they're treating it as a canon piece, which they are, I mean, it is, but there's no really campaign, you know, it's really just multiplayer stuff. But if they're really even treating it as a canon thing, where it's just saying they got to put more movie stuff in there and more, maybe even more story and stuff like that, right? So, but it's a good little piece done by them about it and what characters would possibly show up, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I haven't played Battlefront in a while. It's been quite a few days.
It's been quite a few days. I thought about it the other day too. Yeah. All right. So other than that, but like I said, keep those emails coming. Last thing I'll mention before we get into the canon stuff here, I do want to introduce I thought we haven't done it in a long time, and I want to do more of these. We're going to do a little giveaway.
Oh yeah.
I want to do a little giveaway. I want to give our listeners something because I'm seeing our listenerships grow a little bit, especially on Stitcher Radio and TuneIn Radio. So thank you guys for listening on there.
Yes.
So I want to do something and kind of give you guys something. So, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and look in here real fast. I'll just turn the page to something in this Star Wars, absolutely everything you need to know, because I want to do how I want to do it is I want you to if you want to get entered in on this giveaway. Now the giveaway is we're going to give away the graphic novel of Shattered Empire. So it's the 4-issue miniseries that takes place right after Episode 6, part of the Journey Force Awakens stuff. Right. So if you get this, or actually, I was going to do something. I'll do something even easier. All you got to do is, here's what you're going to do.
Just say a number.
Because I had a couple things in mind. I was like, which one am I going to go with? Okay, so if you want this Shattered Empire novel, graphic novel, all you got to do is tweet at us. Obviously, you got to be following us, but follow us and tweet at us. Use the hashtag ITF.
Yeah.
Inside the Force. ITF question. Send us a question, and we will pick one, and wherever one we kind of settle on and want to answer, we'll send that novel out to you.
Your Star Wars questions.
Star Wars questions. Yeah, don't ask what I ate for breakfast.
Yeah. That's a question.
That doesn't work.
Yeah. Star
Wars questions, anything you need to know. It could be even to kind of test our knowledge, which would be cool. So, send us a question, hashtag it or hashtag ITF question. Obviously, put your question in there, tweet it at us, and you're automatically entered into the contest of getting. So, we'll do it for a week. Next week when we come back on the show, we'll do the question and we'll send the book out to whoever we read.
It's a good book.
It's a great book, great series. And I promise, last thing I'll mention, because I just remembered, we do have a new show. I'll say show because it's going to be a show that's on our YouTube channel at the 21 Network. Star Wars based show, basically hosted by Chad Perkins, our very own Chad Perkins, and he is going to be asking questions to either myself or Casey that are intended to be knowledge for viewers or listeners that don't know. We're actually on, I don't know which, we're actually going to be calling it Making a Holocron or Making Holocrons. Not quite sure yet. But the idea is that we're adding information to a holocron that you can access later.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all kinds of questions, and obviously it's all canon stuff. So be on the lookout for that. We'll let you know as soon as those episodes start rolling up on the YouTube channel there for us. So, all right. So that's all I got. What do you got? You got anything?
Oh yeah, no. I got some profile stuff.
You got some profile stuff.
So today's canon profile, short little brief profile from the Ultimate Star Wars book by DK Publishing. Today is about a vehicle from episode 1, the Trade Federation MTT, which is basically the battle droid transport that you saw on the Battle of Naboo. So the Trade Federation MTT, which appears in episode 1, Clone Wars, and episode 3. Its manufacturer is the Bactoid Armor Workshop. Bactoid, they make a lot of the battle droid stuff, the separatist stuff. The model is Multi-Troop Transport. That's what the MTT stands for, Multi-Troop Transport. Basically, it's just a giant armored vehicle that is capable of depositing over 100 battle droids, and precisely it is 112 battle droids. So those Trade Federation MTTs can hold 112 battle droids, not super battle droids, just the normal kind of battle droids. It says that it has it kind of describes it's got the bulbous front end. It opens to reveal a bunch of these racks where you see the battle droids kind of folded in itself, and once they're being controlled by the orbiting droid control ship and they are activated, they kind of unfold, get into the humanoid configuration, and then they start fighting. It is powered by hydraulics. That is interesting. I guess that's their kind of hover technology is all powered by hydraulics. And yeah, that's it. 112 battle droids. The Trade Federation MTT. That is it. Pretty short, pretty quick little thing. That's from, again, Ultimate Star Wars, DK Publishing. Now, Dave will be talking to you from another awesome trivia book.
Yeah, so this is obviously coming from absolutely everything you need to know about Star Wars here. I just happened to turn to the page where it talks about the Inquisitor from season 1 of Star Wars Rebels. It just calls him Imperial Inquisitor. I'm surprised that he doesn't have a name yet.
Yeah.
Because we're getting names from the other two.
Well, since he's the Grand, he might not really have...
Is he a Grand? It doesn't say anything about the Grand.
Well, this is before season 2 came out. They might not have written that in yet. I don't know. But
right.
In season 2, they reference him as...
Oh, they
did? Maybe that's Hidalgo on the Recon episode. One of those guys. Someone references him as he's like the leader, basically, of the Inquisitors.
And this is pretty interesting. So, two things here real fast. There's a thing on here that describes who answers to whom.
Okay.
So, basically, the top of the line, obviously, is Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine. He's the supreme power. Under him is Governor Tarkin and Darth Vader.
Kind of on the same line.
Line. Under them is the Inquisitor.
Okay.
Can commandeer required Imperial forces while on missions aside from Governor Tarkin. And then he is in charge of the Imperial officers. And it says strictly comply with the Inquisitor's orders. And then under them, under Imperial officers, are the Stormtroopers. So that's how the command... So they fall right under Vader and Tarkin, basically. Yeah. Now, this describes real quick. The Inquisitor is an agent of Darth Vader. His special mission gives him unique privileges to command others. And then I wanted to real quick do a top 5 about this main Inquisitor, which they just call him Imperial Inquisitor from season 1. His homeworld is actually Utapau.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And his species is what's called a Pauwan. Mm-hmm. And so top 5, this is a top 5, kind of like Letterman top 5. Right? You're a Pauwan if, number 1, I'll do number 5. Number 5, your teeth are pointy.
Yeah.
Description that raw meat diet develops razor sharp teeth. 4, you're pale and wrinkly. Pauwans have pasty skin with deep vertical grooves. Number 3, your ears are sensitive. Pauwans have hyper-sensitive hearing and wear coverings to protect their ears. Or then number 2, you like your meat raw. Hold the veggies. Pauwans only eat raw, bloody meat. And then the number one way you know you're a Pauwan if Your home is a hole.
Yes, that's
Powans dwell in darkness.
And we're Utapau from Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, so that makes sense that their skin is pale and
yes,
they kind of just eat what the creatures I guess they find in their little holes. So
yep,
interesting. Utapau.
That's all I got.
Scary old things.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's good. Utapau. That's such an interesting planet. That was in the original.
Yeah, so you remember when Obi-Wan lands there?
Yeah.
That's that's that species.
Held hostage.
Now remember, they're actually pretty tall.
Yeah, they're tall
creatures.
guys, and I remember the trailer. Seeing the trailer for the first time for Revenge of the Sith, and seeing that guy, I was like, "That's a scary looking guy. He's got to be a villain or something. He looks terrifying."
So he was Inquisitor. One of those guys was Inquisitor. Yeah. So
maybe he was there.
Probably. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So, like I said, comic wise. Number 16, Star Wars number 16 landed today, which is Wednesday. Of course, with some other variant covers and whatnot, but go check that out. We'll get you caught up on some comics here next week, as well as talk about the new Rebels, whatever news hits. So join about next week. Of course, remember ITF question, hashtag that and tweet it at us. Mm-hmm. We'll get you signed up. We'll get you entered into the contest of getting Shattered Empire as a graphic novel. I'll ship that out to you, and all you got to do is listen up and make sure we read out your question online here. I mean, if there's 2 or 3 good ones,
maybe not.
Let's do 2 or 3 good ones. Whatever. We'll just do it. Because we really appreciate you guys listening to us chat about Star Wars. So. As usual, Inside the Force on Facebook and Twitter. Casey over there is Kryptonian1138. I am D Cottingham21. Give us a follow on Inside the Force and listen to all the podcast episodes right there on the website. All right, we'll keep you updated on all things Star Wars. For Casey Cooley.
You'll remove these restraints and leave with the cell door open. And then you say,
I will remove these restraints and leave with the cell door open.
There's do you know the YouTube guys, How It Should Have Ended? Have you seen
these videos? I haven't seen Star Wars yet.
They did one for Star Wars, and this scene was pretty funny because this little dialogue happens, and as the stormtrooper's walking out, she's like, "And you'll take me on a ship and help me escape the starship, whatever." And then that happens. So it makes you think, like, why didn't she say that? Why didn't she say, like, "You'll take me as a prisoner on board a TIE fighter and we'll leave"?
That's true. That's true.
That's pretty amusing, but a good scene. That was 007. That was Daniel Craig. JB-0007 is his call sign.
Yeah. So they're not all FNs,
right?
Which we're led to believe a little bit, but anyway. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend. Be back here next week on Inside the Force. For Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
Dave Cottingham here. May the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.